This is lesson 108, 5th grade, and this is on schedules, okay? Now, the first schedule we're going to read is an event such as track and field, okay? And so they're giving us some times, and instead of me writing this entire schedule onto the board, I just want you to look. Can you see this schedule on here?
Not really.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you just to read that schedule. Okay, 10:45 a.m. There's a 400-meter relay. Let's skip down at 12:30 p.m. There's a 100-meter dash. Okay, intermission is in between these two times. And then 3:25, there's a 300-meter intermediate hurdles. Okay, so this is just a schedule that tells us what time everything is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, this first question that they ask us is, the schedule of events for the state track meet was shown in the program. Deidre qualified to run both the 300-meter low hurdles, I would underline that, 300-meter low hurdles, and the 200-meter dash. So there are two things. The 300-meter low hurdles is one of them. That's something I would underline.
300-meter
low hurdles.
Low hurdles.
And she's also going to do the 200-meter dash. Okay, so those are the two things she's running in. Okay? Then it asks this question. Her second race starts how many minutes after the start of her first race? Okay, so her first race is what?
400-meter low hurdles? What?
Not 400.
Am I looking at the...
This is the problem. This is the thing.
Oh, okay.
The schedule. Okay, the first race.
Why do you look at the schedule to...
You see you see what she's supposed to be running. What's her first race she's running in?
300-meter low hurdles.
Okay, 300-meter low hurdles. Do you see 300-meter low hurdles anywhere on this schedule?
No. 300-meter intermediate. Oh, here, there it is. Found it.
This is intermediate. That's someone that's
yeah,
has more advantage because they've been doing it longer. Okay, so the 300-meter low hurdles is her first race. What time is that at?
That's at 3:25 p.m.
Yes, no, that's the intermediate one.
Oh, what 3:10 p.m.
3:10 p.m. I'd write that down. And what time it starts?
3.
Okay, and her second race is the 200-meter dash. Do you see 200-meter dash on this schedule?
Yes.
What time does it start?
3:40.
3:40. Okay, I'd write down that. So far, we have 3:10 p.m. and then 3:40 p.m. So how much time is in between the start of the first race and the start of the second race?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Very good. Okay? And so that's how you would read a schedule.
Okay.
All right. This next schedule we're going to look at, I really don't understand why they chose this. Okay? Because chances are an 11-year-old or 12-year-old is not going to be flying a plane by himself.
Okay.
Okay. So, needless to say, you're going to be learning how to read an airport ticket. It's hard enough for an adult to read an airport ticket.
You don't have to hold up the book. They can't see the words from the camera.
So I want you to look at this. Okay? This is the airport ticket. Okay? And I want to just explain two words that you'll see on an airplane ticket. Depart and arrive. Okay. Depart means when you leave the airport. Arrive is when you get to the airport you're going to. Okay? But sometimes, let me show you an example. Sometimes, because we live in Louisville, Kentucky, we would drive down to the Louisville airport. Let's say we're going to Miami, Florida. Okay? So we're going from Louisville all the way to Florida down here. Okay? Bloop, bloop. Okay? But there's a problem. A lot of times you can't get an airplane ticket, or it costs a very, very expensive ticket to go straight from there to the exact place you want to go. A lot of times they have to make stops. Okay?
Okay.
And a lot of times, most of the time, if I'm going from Louisville to Florida or somewhere like that, they'll stop in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's somewhere in the middle, probably. Okay? So here's what your ticket would be like. Okay, I'm going from Louisville, Kentucky to Atlanta, Georgia, and then from Atlanta, Georgia to Florida. Where did I say? Let's say Miami. Okay, I'm going to Miami, Florida.
Okay.
You staying with me? Okay, so what your ticket, let's pretend we've got a ticket right here. Okay, it's going to say depart and arrive. Okay?
Okay.
So, where am I going to be leaving from?
Leaving from Louisville, Kentucky.
I'm leaving from Louisville. Okay, so it's going to have my, right here, Louisville, Kentucky, and it's going to tell me what time I am departing. Okay, and it can be something like, it'll say like, for example, this one says 6:11 and it has an A beside it.
Okay.
That means AM. So what time am I leaving Louisville, Kentucky?
6 a.m.
6:11 a.m.
Okay.
That's actually when I would have to be already on the plane and ready to leave.
Okay.
Okay, so I will leave at 6:11. Okay, I'm going to expand this ticket because I didn't make it big enough, okay? Then on this side it says arrive. Now remember, some tickets don't automatically arrive me in Florida, okay? So we're going to actually arrive in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, so it'll say Atlanta, Georgia, and they got me arriving there at 8:09 a.m. Okay?
Okay.
Now, then I have to look for what flight? The one going from where to where?
The one going from Atlanta to Miami.
Very good. So then, I would need to board a plane, and hopefully your ticket has already worked all this out, and you already have your schedule that you're following. You're going from Atlanta, Georgia at 9:43 a.m. So I have a little bit of time. This one arrived in Atlanta, Georgia at 8:09, and I don't leave Atlanta, Georgia again until 9:43. So I get about an hour and a half break time before I have to leave again.
Yes.
I may go get a bite to eat or something. Okay, so I leave Atlanta, Georgia at 9:43, and I arrive at Miami, Florida at 10:38 a.m. Okay, still morning time. All right. Now, this one also said April 22nd, April 22nd. So that told me this was all on one day that I have to do these things. Okay? But my ticket wasn't done. Then it said April 29th and April 29th. This is my at-home ticket.
Okay.
When I'm going to be leaving Miami, Florida and heading back to Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay.
So I'll still have my itinerary, my schedule in front of me. And here's what it says. That I'm leaving on April the 29th from Miami, Florida. At 9:58 a.m. Okay, you see how I'm doing that?
Yep.
And then I'm arriving, and they're taking me to a different place. They're taking me to St. Louis. So I'm not going to Atlanta. This flight actually took me over Louisville because that's the only flight that was going there that day. And then they're going from St. Louis back down to Louisville. Sometimes that happens. You fly over where you're wanting to be so that you can get on the right plane that'll take you to where you want to be. Crazy, isn't it?
Okay.
But it just depends on what flights, which airplanes are going where, as to which ones you can get on.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going from Miami, Florida to St. Louis, okay, Missouri. And I'm arriving there at 11:03, okay, a.m. Okay, so then I want to go from St. Louis back down to Louisville. So then we leave St. Louis at 12:04. Now this is the afternoon lunchtime, so it's p.m. Okay, they usually just put a P for p.m. Okay, so I left at 12:04 from St. Louis, arriving in Louisville, Kentucky at 1:33 p.m. Okay, so they would hand you this ticket, and you would have two different dates. One going from Louisville to Atlanta, and then Atlanta to Miami, and then you stay a week. Then April 29th, you leave Miami to go to St. Louis to Louisville. That's how you read an airplane ticket.
Okay.
Okay, just in case you plan to get on an airplane as an 11-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how you would read it, all right? So if I asked you, how much time does Frank have from the time he lands on his way back from Miami, from the time he lands in St. Louis until he leaves to go on his plane to get back home to Louisville? How much time does he have?
From what to Louisville?
From the time he lands in St. Louis until the time he leaves to get back to Louisville. How much time does he have? What two numbers are you looking at? I'm gonna circle them.
6, 11, and...
Okay, why are you looking? I'm talking about we're leaving Miami and we're going to St. Louis. And then how much time do we have from the time we get to St. Louis until we get back to Louisville, Kentucky? How much time do we have in St. Louis before we have to get on our plane to leave to go to Louisville?
I'm confused.
Okay. We're not looking
Wait, so it's the time between St. Louis and...
I arrive in arrive?
Yes.
I arrive in St. Louis at 11:03
Okay.
a.m. How much time do I have at the airport before I have to leave to get on my flight to go to Louisville?
Okay.
When does this next flight leave to go to Louisville?
You have an hour and 1 minute.
Very good. So, I would need to know so I don't miss my flight going from St. Louis because they're not going to wait on me. Okay? That's the way airplanes work. If you're not there, you miss it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if St. Louis, I get in St. Louis at 11:03, how much time do I have before the plane leaves? An hour and 1 minute. Because this is 11:03 a.m. and this is 12:04 p.m. Right?
Yeah.
So, I have an hour and 1 minute before I have to be into the plane to leave to go back to Louisville. Okay? That's how you would read that. Okay? That is lesson 108.